Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten how to act normal? Your hands feel awkward. Your posture feels wrong. Even walking starts to feel like something you have to consciously control. Then someone across the room looks in your direction. For 1 second, your brain creates a story. They're looking at me. Now your shirt feels too noticeable. Your face feels exposed. You start wondering whether people can tell you're nervous. Here's the strange part. That person may have forgotten you existed 3 seconds later. So why does your brain turn an ordinary room into a stage? The answer reveals something surprisingly powerful about the way humans see themselves. Picture yourself walking through a busy shopping mall. Hundreds of people are around you. Nobody knows your name. Nobody knows where you're going. Yet you suddenly become intensely aware of yourself. Your brain starts checking everything. How am I walking? Does my hair look strange? Are my clothes okay? Did that person notice me? This experience has a psychological name, the spotlight effect. Researchers have found that people tend to overestimate how much others notice their appearance, actions, and mistakes. In simple terms, your mind behaves as if an invisible spotlight is following you. Except there's a problem. Most people aren't holding the flashlight. They are carrying their own. Think about the last person you saw wearing something unusual. Maybe you noticed their jacket. Maybe you thought it looked good. Maybe you thought it looked strange. How long did you think about it? Probably seconds. Then your attention returned to your own life. That same thing happens to you. Someone might notice you. They might even judge you. But their attention usually moves on far faster than your imagination suggests. Human beings didn't evolve in isolation. For most of our history, belonging to a group mattered enormously. Your ancestors depended on other people for protection, cooperation, food, and survival. Being accepted wasn't merely comforting. Social rejection could carry real consequences. That history left your brain highly sensitive to other people's reactions. A facial expression can grab your attention. A strange tone can make you suspicious. A sudden laugh nearby can trigger a question. Was that about me? Nothing dangerous has actually happened. Still, your brain wants an answer. That's because the mind is constantly predicting what might happen next. Social situations are especially difficult because other people's thoughts cannot be seen directly. You have to guess. And whenever information is missing, imagination gets involved. Someone looks at you. You don't know why. Your brain fills the gap. Maybe they noticed my clothes. Maybe something looks wrong. Maybe they think I'm weird. One glance has now become an entire story. Imagine you're sitting in a classroom. The teacher asks a question. You know the answer. Your hand almost rises. Then you imagine every head turning toward you. Your voice sounds strange in your imagination. You picture giving the wrong answer. Someone laughs. You freeze. The hand goes down. Nothing actually happened. Yet your brain just simulated the entire disaster. That is one of the most important things to understand about self-consciousness. Your brain doesn't need proof to create a social threat. It only needs a possibility. A person whispers across the room. You assume it's about you. Someone laughs after you walk past. You wonder if they are laughing at you. A stranger looks away quickly. You start asking what you did wrong. Each event has dozens of possible explanations. Your brain simply gives special importance to the one involving you. Why? Because you are the center of your own experience. You know your insecurities. You remember your mistakes. You hear every thought running through your head. Other people don't. And that difference creates an illusion. You know everything about your own awkwardness. So you assume everyone else can see it too. They can't. Remember that embarrassing thing you did years ago? The moment you said something stupid. The time you tripped in front of people. The joke that completely failed. Your brain may still remember the details. The room. The faces. The silence. Maybe even the exact words. Now try remembering someone else's embarrassing moment from 3 years ago. Suddenly, your memory becomes much less impressive. You probably can't. That difference matters. Your own embarrassment feels permanent because you experienced it from the inside. Other people's embarrassment usually passes through your attention like a passing notification. This is why one awkward moment can feel like a permanent stain on your identity. You think, everyone remembers what I did. In reality, someone may have forgotten it before they even got home. You are carrying a memory that other people may have already dropped. And sometimes, you're the only person still punishing yourself for it. Here comes the part that makes the problem worse. Once you believe people are watching, you start watching yourself. Your attention turns inward. How am I standing? Where should I put my hands? Am I talking too much? Was that answer weird? Should I smile? Do I look nervous? The mind becomes its own surveillance camera. Unfortunately, constant self-monitoring can make ordinary behavior feel unnatural. Walking requires attention. Talking requires calculation. Eye contact becomes a performance. Instead of experiencing the conversation, you're evaluating yourself inside the conversation. That creates a loop. You feel watched. You monitor yourself. Self-monitoring makes you more self-conscious. Self-consciousness makes you feel awkward. Then that awkward feeling becomes evidence that people noticed you. So you monitor yourself even more. The room hasn't changed. Your attention has. Social media adds another layer to this problem. For the first time in human history, ordinary people can receive visible feedback from enormous audiences. A post gets views. A photo gets likes. A comment gets ignored. A message gets left unanswered. Now silence itself can feel meaningful. You post something and check your phone. Nothing. You check again. Still nothing. Your mind starts filling the empty space. Maybe people didn't like it. Maybe I looked stupid. Maybe I shouldn't have posted it. Notice what happened. Nobody actually told you any of that. Your brain wrote the script, and uncertainty gave it permission. Breaking this pattern doesn't require becoming fearless. Instead, change where your attention goes. Walking into a room, don't immediately ask, how do I look? Ask, what's happening around me? Don't ask, do they like me? Ask, who are these people? Don't constantly evaluate your behavior. Experience the moment. That small shift moves your attention from self-monitoring to participation. You stop performing for an imaginary audience. You start actually living inside the moment. And here's the realization that makes everything else click. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think. They're thinking about themselves, their relationships, their appearance, their mistakes, their future, their own invisible spotlight. So the next time you enter a crowded room and feel every eye turning toward you, pause, take a breath, look around. Someone is checking their phone. Someone is fixing their hair. Someone is wondering whether they just said something embarrassing. Someone may even be wondering if you noticed them. That's the irony. Almost everyone thinks they're being watched, while almost everyone else is busy watching themselves. You don't need to perform perfectly. You don't need everyone's approval. You don't need to control every impression you leave behind. Because your life isn't a stage. And you were never meant to live like you're constantly on one. The spotlight you're afraid of may exist mostly inside your own mind. So step out of it. Stop performing. Start participating. And for once, just be there. If you've ever felt like everyone was watching you, comment spotlight below. You might be surprised how many people feel exactly the same way.